Hello, welcome. Today we're talking about integrating intuition into your business. Now, I've brought on a very special guest to help us understand exactly how we can do this. Adriana is an intuitive business and mindset coach. She hit six figures with a small following, and she lived in Bali for an events and retreat business. Plus, she owned and ran multiple six-figure businesses in her 20s. So this is the setup for today. Got my soft boxes so it's nice and bright. Laptop for some notes. Let me take you around the back here and set you up in front of the screen as I invite Adriana on for us. Hello. Lovely to see you. This is a really good topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Not many people cover it, integrating your intuition into your business. So let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from while I invite Adriana onto this live. Ooh, first one's in. Hi from Pennsylvania. Good morning, Zeta Collective. All right, let me invite Adriana in. Here we go. Hello.
Hello. Oh my gosh, how exciting.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so honored to have you here, especially because you live and breathe intuition in your business. Not only are you an intuitive business coach, but you've hit multiple six figures in different businesses in your 20s, which is absolutely incredible. So you've mastered how to integrate your intuition with business. So you found this beautiful balance, which is really hard to do. Sometimes you're too businessy, sometimes you're too into your intuition. So finding that balance is crucial. And that's why you're here to teach everyone how we can do that.
Yay! I'm so excited to share this with you. My favorite.
Now, for everyone who's joining, we have 5 questions to get through. So you better have your notebook out and your pen. I'll give you a second to grab that. In the comments here, we've got rural New South Wales, Canada, Italy, Melbourne. Hello, everyone. Egypt, Brisbane. So lucky to have you here. Okay, let's get into that first question. Adriana, what is intuition and how do we hear it? Like, what is it?
It is a very good first question. And I'm glad we are starting there. I love to remind people that intuition's allowed to be really simple. It doesn't have to be so complicated. I feel like sometimes we do overcomplicate things. And you said it actually in the intro, and I really want to say that again because it's so cool, that it's not about being so far one way that we're kind of just always flailing around in the wind, or so far the other way that we're so like heavily in our doer and our masculine. It's creating a structure that we can flow within. So our intuition allows us to create this beautiful structure, and then we get to like flow and dance within it. So it makes everything more fun. But essentially, intuition is that really soft, gentle voice. I remind people that it's like the first voice. So, when you ask a question to yourself and you hear that little first voice, and then you hear all the other chatter, the first one, yes, we all do this. I do too. The first one is our intuition. A really great way to remember this is it's soft and patient. So it's much softer than the rest. It's much more patient. It's never in a rush. It defies logic. So it's not going to be like, well, logically, it doesn't make sense. Like, I just moved to Byron Bay, and like that logically made no sense. But our intuition doesn't care. So defies logic, and it's quite gentle with you. So there's some good ways to kind of start identifying and playing with it. And I find that they're kind of the easiest ways to kind of start leaning into what our intuition actually is. How to hear it, on the other hand, that's one part of how to hear it. But I have this really fun tool I give all my clients. So I wanted to kind of give it to everyone today too. I want you to notice while you're listening, where does it come through for you? So for everybody, it's a little bit different. Common misconception that it's going to be the same. Not true. So for me, it comes through my ear. So it comes through my ear and I just hear it and I know that's what I need to do. For a lot of people, it comes from like their belly or their heart space, and they'll just feel it come up. For other people, and let me know if you can relate to this one in the comments, it's just a knowing. it's just like this knowing that comes over you, and it's like, oh, I just feel like I know I need to do that thing. I don't know where it's coming from or how to identify it. That's fine too. There is no wrong way, by the way. And I just find that as we understand where it comes from, then we can understand what it sounds like, what it feels like in our body, in our being, and then it's easier to act upon it. Because imagine trying to like act upon it, but you don't really know what it sounds like, you don't really know what it feels like, and you're kind of like, oh, they all sound the same. And sometimes I do this, I'll be like, there's so many voices going on in my head, but it's not the other ones. And that can be confusing sometimes, but it's this voice that you're looking for. And getting to know yours will take practice, but it will be loads and loads of fun.
So, Shirin.Galley, I just asked a question on this topic. How do you differentiate between intuition and fear? Like, how can you tell the difference? Yeah.
Yes, this is like my favorite question. And I really believe this question is not covered anywhere near enough in the intuitive space. And I want to remind everybody that they're really similar, like scary similar. But there's tools and ways we can work through this. The easiest one I get people to think about is fear will sound badgering. So fear will sound like those moments in life where it like nags you and it repeats a lot and it's loud and it's very repetitive. And it's like, you got to go quicker, Annika. You got to do this. You got to do that. Our intuition won't do that. It's quite patient until we like ignore a nudge, when you've ignored a nudge like 5 times or 10 times, and then it starts to knock at your door louder and louder. So almost you can't ignore it anymore. That is still your intuition. But with fear, I always get people to lean into and think about where in my life, this is a great question to ask yourself, do I hold the most trauma and the most limiting beliefs? That area will be the hardest area to hear intuition, and it will get masked as fear. I'll give you a really quick example, is that mine was in the area of love and relationships. When it came to business, I could just go and go and go. It's not where my fear lied. But when it came to love and relationships, I had a lot of fear and old wounds there. So it was really tricky for me to hear that what was an intuitive full body yes and what was my fear. What I found is the more inner work I did, and this is why I teach mindset, the more I guided myself to going inward and reflecting and being curious. My favorite word, be curious. I got to know, that actually came from a wound. And that's our easiest way to identify fear, because it'll actually be a wound talking, maybe a childhood wound or a place where you got hurt. And this is why understanding our inner work, and the really cool correlation, I said this the other day on a podcast, is that the more inner work we do, the clearer our intuition will be. So that's a pretty cool incentive to do, the inner work. And I can definitely say the more I did, the more I was like, oh my gosh, like I can hear, feel, see. I'm a clearer vessel to receive my intuition now. So that is one way, or a few ways, to kind of start differentiating, however you say that fun word, between the two. I also want to remind people, because this is another cool thing I give people, is if you're still using the word should in your vocabulary, I want you to just like practice, take it out. Just for a while, just take out the word should and see what happens. Because shoulds are often coming from fear or obligation or our ego, whereas our intuition will never feel like a should. So I practiced for months of my life, never doing anything I thought I should do. And my whole world changed, and my business actually blew up at the time. It was very cool.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to try that this week. Stop using the word should. I like it. Anyone else who's going to join me in that this week, comment in the box saying, what should they say? No more should.
Yes, no more should.
Beautiful. Okay, so you've covered a little bit about what intuition is, how to hear it, and how to differentiate from intuition and fear, and listening to where it's coming from and things like that. Now, how do we use that in business? How does intuition translate into business? Because you've managed to hit six figures with a small following, and I have a feeling it's to do with intuition and business. So
Yes.
please share.
And it's so funny, and why I always remind people I did it with a small following, and at the time it was probably about 3,000 or even less. So it's not a big amount of followers, and I think for a lot of people they're like, well, like I need a lot of followers and to make good income and do this. But whilst it helps, and I'm sure with all Annika's reels you'll get there, but it's also remembering that we are so powerful, and when we are listening to our intuition and we're following the breadcrumbs, we can make literally anything happen. So I'm sure this is the bit that most people really want to know. How does it work in your business? And the one thing I always think about is, and this is, I'm going to say the easiest way to get there, is treat your business like its own soul, like it has its own entity, its own energy, however you see energy, whatever's not too woo-woo for you, kind of go there, but almost just see it as its own thing, as its own soul. And start to practice, and you can try this too, there's so much you can try straight away. Practice asking it to show me. Start to practice asking it to reveal to me. Start to practice asking it to come through me. And I think when you start practicing those little questions, they're so small, you'll start to hear the next step. So actually, it's how I got on this live with you right now. So I'm practicing it all the time. So I was actually umming and ahhing, and I was like, what should I need to do next in my business? What will kind of support me? And I asked the soul actually of an offering I'm creating. So each of our offers in our business, so whether it's a yoga studio, whether it's a product, whether it's offers, a coaching business, healing business, which is what I work with, each offer, so for example, your coaching program will have its own soul. So you can literally ask that coaching program, how do you want to be shared with the world? What do you need to be shared with the world? And it will just start to come through you. So when I asked my program something, and my current business as it stands right now, it was just like, do a live. And then it was like, ask Annika. And I was like, okay. And logically it made no sense because we organized this so quickly. And I'm currently in an Airbnb because we just moved to Byron Bay from Melbourne. And I was like, okay, I need this, and this. And okay, that makes no sense. Oh, well, I'll do it anyway. And the result has already been amazing. And now I get to impact and share with all of you beautiful humans as well. So even if you want to, start popping in the comments, because I find this helps other people. If you are hearing an intuitive message for your business right now, pop it in, even if it's small. And I'm talking small. Like sometimes I'll be like, okay, I need to write a forgiveness letter to somebody to release and clear space. I need to organize my calendar to create space. I need to go have a nap. And I'll literally go and have a nap. This happened so many times. And I'll wake up to a client being like, oh, I'm in. Can I pay you? I'll pay in full. And I'm like, I just had a nap. But the nap was like an intuitive, full body, yes, that's the next best step. And that's a great question too. What is my next best step? So to kind of recap that and how to use that in your business, treating your business like a soul, asking it to show me, it's my favorite way, treating each offer like a soul and seeing how it wants to show up with the world. And then asking just for the next best step, and then it will lead you. Remember though, we talked about at the beginning of the live that it will defy logic, that it won't always make sense. And another little reminder, and I don't want to complicate this part, but sometimes it might not always feel that easy the whole time. Because remember, we're human and fear is real and it's okay. And we have compassion for yourself. For example, yesterday it was an intuitive yes, we filmed the reel, and then I got really nervous because I'm human too, right? And I was like, oh, maybe this wasn't an intuitive yes. And that's where, and why I want to share this, is that's where we have to catch ourselves and remind ourselves, okay, this isn't about running or avoiding or not doing this. This is now my humanness. I call it my humanness coming up, my fear coming up. And I sat with that and I honored that for a moment. And then I went back to that intuitive message that I originally got. So that's one way to kind of help you go about all of that as well.
Thank you, Adriana. I love the concept of looking at your business like it has a soul and then asking it what's the best way to serve you, or what's the next step, and listening to that voice, and then going back to what we talked about at the start, differentiating between what is intuition and what is fear, and then not using the word should in how you approach everything you do. And sometimes your intuition will defy logic, and then just trusting and going with it, it becomes stronger. And the more shadow work you do and the more you work on yourself, the stronger that inner voice gets. So that's just a little recap of everything we've covered right now. Do you have another gold nugget that people can action right now?
So many. I want to just give absolutely as much as I can. A really cool one that actually just came to mind while you were talking is, I would love, and Papa, yes, if you're going to try this because it's so much fun, give yourself today, so the next 24 hours, depending on where you are in the world, an intuition day. So it's so much fun. What this does is, right? What this does
I'm going first. Yes.
Yes. Pop the yeses. An intuition day. I'll explain it for you so you're as excited as I am. You give yourself a day where you practice using your intuition on small things. And that's the key here, right? We want to start to practice it on the little things so then they can start to impact the big things. So when you go pick what you're going to go have for lunch, I want you to intuitively be like, what do I feel like? If it's like some chocolate ice cream, I don't know, just go with it for today. You will learn to discern as time goes on. You will learn how to, because it takes practice, right? So I want to really remind people that again, practice. And you will start to learn that, like, oh, that was my intuition. Or, oh, that wasn't really my intuition. That was kind of my, another desire tapping in, or my fear tapping in. And that's okay. It's part of the process. So an intuition day is literally just letting it guide you all day. If you want to go like have a shower and a nap at 3 p.m., just do it. And notice, this is the key, and this is where it gets fun. I want you to notice where it leads you. Notice what it leads you to. Notice who it leads you to contacting. Notice what opportunities it brings to you in your business. Notice what sales it might bring to you. And I've had clients do this and they've literally made sales that day. And they're like, what in the world? So when you sit down to your business today or tomorrow, I want you to ask it, what would it look like if I was just having an intuition day? It's just a day. So what could go wrong, right? And just follow the next best steps, but notice what happens at each point. So when I do that, how do I feel in my body? How much more exciting is it? What opportunities come up? And I think by doing that, you start to reconfirm to the part of your brain that needs it, our neural pathways that needs confirming that we are safe to do this and that it is fun and rewarding. So doing that will help. But an intuition day cannot fail. It's super duper fun. And you're always asking, what is that next best step? And remember, powerful questions have powerful answers. So we have to ask it really empowering, powerful questions. And I find the questioning is the easiest way to hear our intuition.
Thank you, Adriana. I'm going to do an intuition day the moment we get off this live. I feel like it's already started being an intuition day, just talking with you. And it's so true. When you connect in and just allow and listen to that voice, your business becomes easy again. It becomes fun like it was when you first started. Things flow and you get into this really creative space. And that's how it should be. That's how business should be. I'm not using the word should in the bad way. I'm saying like your business will be fun, easy, and safe. I love when you use the word safe when you're explaining how you're tapping into that part of your brain and you're like, okay, yeah, this is right. This is how I want to feel. This is where I want to take my business. So I love all the gold nuggets you've been sharing with us and the strategies and the steps. So anyone who's watching right now, if you've just met Adriana for the first time, without leaving the live, you can tap on our names up the top here, and then Adriana's name will pop up. And only if you feel like you resonate with her, give her a follow. Do not follow her if you don't resonate, because then you're not going to engage, and that's going to hurt her engagement. Only follow her if you feel like you connect with her and she's someone that you want to learn more from. So thank you so much for jumping on here with us, Adriana. Now, how can we learn more from you? What do you do? Like, this isn't enough to cover in a live. I want more. I'm hungry. Can you tell us what we can do next?
Yeah, there is so much more to all of this. And as you can tell, like, this is like a bite-sized amount, but also you will, just from implementing what we've shared today, you will get results, but then you'll want the next level and you'll want more. And I find that for clients, it's all about helping us keeping on discerning the difference and keeping on reminding us, because if, like a few of you, probably been in business for a while, and sometimes it starts to get stagnant and scary and confusing. And this is where we get to have another party coming in, because I always say you can't see the label from inside the pickle jar. So you are the pickle, you are in the jar, and you need someone on the outside who can read the label and share with you and explain to you. And that's what, coaches do. And I love that. That's why I love having a coach. And that able to guide you through this kind of stagnant bit to kind of explode and get to the next level. So at the moment, I actually have a free 3-day masterclass series, which is super duper exciting. And I'll go into some intuition points on the first day, just a little bit deeper than today. So for people who are we're a little bit more familiar with it now, and it starts Monday. So by then you would have had your intuition day, so you'll know what I'm talking about. And then we go into things like how to, build a high income with a small following, and kind of crossing that barrier or a low engaged following, and how to kind of get them really, really engaged, even if it's small. And then all the fun stuff with creating juicy offers and sales and all that fun stuff as well. So if you want, you can just DM me at the word pink or PinkSparrow, and that will make it nice and easy, and I can help you out and make sure it's a good fit for you. Or if you just want to chat or ask me any questions, I'll be there today, so good timing. Otherwise, there's a link in my bio, so you can easily jump there, and it's going to be so much fun, so much fun.
Just like Lost Mama Strength just said, that sounds wonderful. If you would like to learn more about intuition, how it works in your business, how to hit that break free and hit that 6-figure mark with a smaller following, then DM Adriana the word pink, and then you can have a conversation with her and find out if it's a good fit for you or not. It's 3 days, it starts on Monday, and it's absolutely free.
So much fun.
Thank you for chatting with us here today, Adriana. I've learnt so much, and I'm looking forward to implementing it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Annika, for having me. And I cannot wait to hear how people go trying it all out. So much fun.
Remember, you're the pickle in the jar, and try an intuition day. Goodbye, everyone.
See you guys.
Mwah. Mwah.